My name is PJ Cole, and I am the Executive Director of Lifeline AMI Project. It's good to be back at One Young World and to meet old faces and see new people. In 1996, confronted by the plight of child soldiers in Sierra Leone, my parents invited over 800 young people into our lives. All of them were victims of war. Pulling them out of the conflict and into our home, I shared my clothes, food, and parents with them. Although they had committed many atrocities, my father had a vision that with the right support, these young people will go on to be those who would rebuild the nation in years to come. Today, a group of these former child soldiers with whom I shared my life are standing shoulder to shoulder with me. Together, we're running 4 schools, a vocational training center, a safe home for disenfranchised young people. We're running businesses and working with farmers. Our vision at Lifeline AMI Projects, thank you. Our vision at Lifeline AMI Projects is audacious. We are on a mission to rebuild Sierra Leone. In 2014, I became aware of the Queen's Young Leaders Program, and I decided to apply for it. The opportunity to train with Cambridge University, receive mentoring, and meeting Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was very exciting to me. But what ensued was actually a whirlwind of activities that totally blew me away. It enabled me and built my capacity and positioned Lifeline AMI Projects to intensify our impact and improve the services that we're delivering. During my year as a Queen's Young Leader, Sierra Leone was plagued with a deadly Ebola virus disease. Consequently, the economy deflated by 30%. This led to a state of emergency that almost brought our nation completely to its knees. Our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues were dying. Our community was under attack. Our vision to rebuild Sierra Leone was being tested. In response, we designed an Ebola education program which provided and equipped over 80,000 people with life-saving knowledge. We provided food, medical, and psychosocial support for 12,000 quarantined individuals. We Googled the plans of how to build an Ebola clinic and started building one. We mobilized the community. We worked with local councillors, chiefs, members of parliament, and brought young people together to fight a disease in our community. Different stakeholders took different roles. Some people cooked meals and brought them. Some people lent their skills as carpenters. Together, we persevered until help came through MEDAIR, and we ended up building a 20-bed Ebola clinic that treated 271 people. Thank you. Faced with the tragic reality of Ebola, I was challenged to think about our vision and future. This was difficult, but totally necessary, and in line with our ethos, which is to do what we have to do now for a better tomorrow. The support I received from the Queen's Young Leaders team helped me think strategically. We secured support from Comic Relief to expand our vocational training and to help young people set up their own businesses. We also looked to equip young and employed young people in Sierra Leone in the rural area to train them in business and farming skills. This will help them improve their produce, move them away from subsistence to commercial farming. I made really strong connections during my year as a Queen's Young Leader, and these relationships have helped move us on in realizing our vision. An example of this is a project that we currently are working on, which is to develop an ICT training facility which will provide ICT training for young people across 19 schools. It has been developed as a result of direct relationships I made during my time as a Queen's Young Leader. Through this project, we will improve education and equip young people for work and life in the 21st century. I've learned that collaboration is critical. In fact, relationships are more powerful than programs. Lifeline AMI Projects is an example of this. My father, a community leader working in Liberia, went to the UK to learn about pig farming in 1990, just before the war broke out in Liberia. Displaced and unable to fly back into the country, he met John Singleton, the founder of Lifeline Network International. The two of them became friends. John helped my father return to West Africa, where he reunited with my mother and me. By 1996, their friendship was so strong that when my father had the brilliant idea of inviting child soldiers into our home, John was there to collaborate with him. There's a proverb which says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. We're choosing to go far. Our mission to rebuild Sierra Leone depends on this. And the Queen's Young Leaders and now the whole One Young World family is joining us and helping us go further. Thank you.